Today we're in North Hesse at a picturesque town called Melsungen. The festival that we're at today is called Nordhessen Geschmackvoll, or translated into English, Nordhesse full of taste. But I prefer the translation, Tasty Nordhessen. Now let's see what there is to look at today. In this episode, we've got the king of cured meats from the region called the Aale Wurst. We've got Schauenberger, sparkling apple wine and freshly made waffles. We venture out into the wild in the search for buried treasures and also get to learn about some special raw goat's milk cheese from the region. I'm here with Mr. Hannig today. You've got a table full of bread and cheese. I'd love to have that in my home. Yes. But you also make goat's cheese.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that. I've seen quite a few there.
Most of the cheese from goats is soft cheese. People like soft cheese from goats very much.
Yes.
We don't have enough milk to make hard cheese from goats, even though it's very much demand for it.
Yes.
We have 100 goats, that's not enough.
100 goats, and I bet maybe even some of them have names.
Yeah,
All of them have names.
Right.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
Is it possible that we can try some?
Yes.
I love cheese. It's something special. You can take milk, a simple product from a lovely cow, and on one day it can taste like something, and on the very next day it can taste like wildflowers or beautiful strong smelling grass. Let's see what he's going to bring us.
We have now a choice of 3 different goat cheese. This is soft cheese with ash. This is sort of a camembert made from goat's milk.
Goat's milk, yeah.
Which is called Meckerfritze. This is a German play of words. That's a man who's always complaining about things.
Well, the cheese has to be good with a name like that.
Yeah, women like to buy this to put it on the table for their husband.
Okay.
Yeah, to tell them something.
Stop complaining when you buy this cheese. That's what you got to get.
Yeah, and then we have a semi-hard cheese, which is called Lützigstrolch. And so, in order to taste, you start with, like with wine, you start with a mild one first. And this is, you eat the ash as well.
You eat the ash as well?
Yeah.
It's got the pyramid form of the Valençay from France.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the form is similar, but it has a taste of its own.
A delicate texture as well.
Yes, yes.
And the
soft, creamy.
Soft and creamy, but the acid and the salt is also very well mixed in.
So and the ash takes the acid from the cheese, and so it gets very mild.
Yes.
And people sometimes don't like goat cheese because it's too strong. Too much taste of goats.
Yes.
And this is very mild, and people like it very much.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's special.
So the second one would be the Meckerfritze, which is.
So now we're going to try the complaining man. Thank you. Look at this. Oh,
There's so much difference between normal camembert, which is made in industry production, which has to last very long in the shop, and made from raw milk. It's completely different, and then even better from goat's milk.
that is amazing. I would not complain if I got that cheese. Well, I would stop complaining, should I say.
Yeah. This is also one of my favorites. If I eat goat's cheese, it's a Meckerfritze. And the last will be semi-hard cheese from goat's milk, also.
Sweet and creamy. It's delicious. And is this a cheese that you can eat the rind with as well?
Yes.
Okay, so I eat the rind.
It's just brushed with salt water, and that's it.
Salt water?
Yes. There's no additives on it, and so you can eat it all. It's like with bread. In bread you have the crust, you have the most taste. More tasty than the inside. And so you don't have to throw away anything.
And I can see here that you actually produce your own sourdough bread.
Yes, it's so good quality. Like in industrial production, you don't make it anymore because it takes too much time.
Yes.
It's you have to do it to prepare it 3 times. Add water and rye.
Yeah.
Before you can bake it.
Exactly.
And it takes so long, but then when you bake it, you have a lot of taste. It's sour, it's very tasty, but it will keep very long. You can eat it
Yes.
a week long.
A week long?
Yeah. We even have one customer who starts eating after 1 week because he said there's a process of ripening in the bread, and it's more tasty and has more value when you keep it that long and eat it after 1 week. With these products, you have a lot of taste, but you don't eat too much, and it's very good for your feeling, for your well-being,
Yes.
and for the body.
So I can eat cheese, eat bread, eat sausage, and feel good, and that's my new diet. I'm in heaven.
Yeah, that's what one of the girls who is apprentice now in our farm. She says she's finished today, and she says eating with us at home, it's like in paradise.
When can I move in? Look at this. I'm on the other side of you right now, but the smell here. It's black-footed pigs from here, from the region, that they've made beautiful hams with. Look at it, the golden colour. It's amazing. Look, I can even try some over here. Is there anything more delicious? I don't think so. I'm going to take all these legs of ham back home and just put them in my house and eat them as I go along. This is amazing.
Also ich kenne das von meiner Oma noch und von meinen Eltern, die haben das prima gemacht und er schmeckt genauso. Ne?
The ladies just explained to me that it tastes amazing, that's a given, but it tastes like ham like she used to know, like from her childhood. A real land ham, they would say, a Landschwein here. It's delicious. We're lucky to be here today with Mr. Rode. Now, Mr. Rode is a big name among Wurst, as we say in Germany, in Nordhessen. We've got a very special product here today. It's been added in 2004 to the slow food movement because it is just so good. It's called Ahle Wurst. Now, that actually comes from a dialect. It's not old sausage. We're not talking about a sausage that's been under the cover for a year or two. Basically, they wanted to eat from the pig for the whole year. So there would be a 6 Wochen, a 6 week, they would be able to have parts of the pig, and then that would go on for the whole year until it's come around to the next year, and they can do the whole process again. It's a fantastic idea.
And it's so tasty. With a light pepperiness, it made me wanting more. So Dieter invited me to show me how it was made. His butcher shop has a history of over 70 years, and people come literally from all over Germany to buy his products, to keep them going for, well, the next couple of days. Dieter had a little secret, being that his factory was not only one of the remaining traditional houses in Kassel, but it's actually a giant refrigerator. I was in for a treat here, and what I saw was meat of the highest quality. You can see that the animal was well kept. Look at the colour of the meat. This was one happy pig. After chatting with Dieter for a while, I could figure out he wasn't going to tell me his secret recipe. However, I noted that he uses freshly ground black pepper, salt, some spices, and a special blend of garlic. This is then all mixed together in a mixing bowl that would have you going crazy at home. The technique is called Warmverarbeitung, in which the animal is processed within 2 hours of being slaughtered. Now what this does is it keeps the natural phosphate levels in the meat and therefore requires no preservatives to be used. I really love watching the meat coming through the mincer. You could see it come out in little strands ready to be mixed up. Now this resulting mass is called Met in German, which binds together really well and can even be eaten raw. Something that, I really wasn't feeling up to at the time. This then comes into a filling machine, which was out of this world. It's huge, but it fills so many sausages. Dieter only uses natural intestines for the casings of his salamis. Now this is important because we can see that he uses the whole pig in the production of these special sausages. The intestines are packed in salt to preserve them, but then they're washed off and cleaned out so that they can be filled with this met. Look at it go! I really wanted to have a go at filling one up, but this guy, he was just so fast. What these fresh sausages need now is time to ripen into what is the Ahle Wurst. These clay bricks are what are responsible for the temperature and humidity of Dieter's maturation room. They keep it even and they keep it cool. Thousands of Ahle Wurst hang here at any given time. Dieter can trace back every salami to each farm due to his special tagging system and therefore from birth to plate. This is wonderful quality control. The experience was amazing. It was as if I were in sausage heaven.
Who doesn't like something sweet to eat? I know I do, and I know you do too. A big part of German culture is coffee and cake. They take time for it. They sit down, have a coffee and a piece of cake and really just enjoy the time. Or in this case, have a waffle on the walk. Now this stand is special. They've got 4 old ovens here, like the gentleman said, from Oma's Zeiten or grandmother's time. They are collectors. They've collected them over a number of years and they do this as a hobby. They come here to the market or a special festival day and cook waffles all day long to make people happy. The batter that they use is very special. They've whipped it and whipped it and whipped it, so it's got so light and fluffy. I've just tasted it. It's like bubbles in your mouth. So when it goes onto the iron pan, it just kind of sizzles away and starts to cook and keeps the bubbles inside, so when you eat it and it's come off, it just goes and it almost dissipates in your mouth. It's delicious. I love it. Look at the ladies behind these ovens. I like to call them the waffle ladies of North Hesse.
I stumbled across this sparkling apple wine from the region a couple of weeks ago, and I had to take up the opportunity to meet Joachim Dörner at the festival in Melsungen.
Mr. Dörner produces 2 varieties. One is in Brut, which is the typical champagne style, and the other is called Trocken. Now this is a little bit different, a little bit special. It's a little bit sweeter. This here, delicious. Drink it any day, morning, noon, night. Preferably not in the morning. We don't have to do that so much. Let's try it.
Zum Wohl.
Zum Wohl, Prost. I'm in heaven. Oh, that tastes so good. Mr. Dörner just told me this is a special product. This Federweisse, it's made from apple juice. Now, as you can see, it's a little bit kind of cloudy. Now, 3 days ago, he put in some yeast. It was just apple juice 3 days ago. Now, if you can see, it's bubbling, it's fizzing, and at the moment, it's got an alcohol volume of 0.8%. Tomorrow, as you just said, it'll be 1. Maybe next week it'll be 10, who knows? But we can drink it now. It's delicious, it really truly is. You wouldn't think so. Look, it's cloudy. It's like a witch's cauldron. She's making something delicious inside. Maybe some of us would like to have a glass with breakfast. Maybe they do off the Bauernhof here. Who knows? But we'll find out soon.
I wanted to find out what was so special about this, so we took a drive to the factory, which I thought was going to be a big industrial operation, rather to be surprised that this truly was a labour of love. Apples exclusive to the region are used, primarily being the Boskop. Each one is cleaned by hand to remove any imperfections. These are then given a final wash-off before being put into the chute of what I enjoyed to term Mr. Shredder. The result is a wonderful sweet grated apple mixture. Joachim's grandmother presides over the important procedure of layering the resulted apple mass and tucking it into bed, ready to be squeezed for its juice. The whole process, although looking quite rough and ready, is precise and timed to a T in true German efficiency. The resulting apple juice is pumped into big Speidel stainless steel tanks, made in Germany of course, where it starts its journey on becoming the apple wine of my dreams.
It all starts with apples like these in an orchard just like this one. We're in the private orchard of Mr. Döner, and what we've learnt is that there's only two real things that you need. The first is a great product. Now, that's a given. The second is time. Time that the product can ripen, and time at the end that we can drink it. What I've also learned though is this is a family operation. They give all their love and they put all their love into making this product. The whole process isn't over yet. It's a cycle. This is the pressed out apple flesh. Oh, it smells just of pure apples. It's still a little bit moist. There's seeds in here. There's the skin, there's the core. It's amazing, but it's so firm and compact. They give this to the cows to eat. Now, in the cow dung afterwards, it's all over the field. Now this goes into the ground, and in the spring, there's little tiny apple trees that come up. And what they do is they select the best ones and replant them to get new, fully grown apple trees. Isn't that just amazing? Cheers. When you think of Germany, what do you think? Well, I think sausages. Now, this stand behind me has got some amazing sausages, and they're not made from typical pork. They're made in North Hesse style, as we like to say here, and they're made from lamb, special lamb. In German, it's called Heideschnucke, and it just eats wild herbs. So when you actually bite into that sausage or lamb, leg of lamb, doesn't matter. It's delicious. You can see them sizzling behind me. And there's actually special mustard here as well. It's made from 3 old gentlemen that have actually set up a small company now, but they started on their own, making 2 very special kinds. One with stinging nettle seeds and one with apricot. It's amazing. I love lamb and I love sausages even more. The combination together for me is just heaven. The stand behind me is run by a restaurant called Deutsche Eiche. What a great name. Translated in English, it means German oak. Such a strong name. They're specialists here. The lady behind me, her name is Frau Zimmermann, and she is a specialist in wild herbs. She takes you on tours. You go walking through the forest here and the local hills, and you pick up wild herbs from all over the region, and you can go back and cook with her. And we're going to show you right now.
The restaurant is situated in Grebenstein, only 20 kilometres north of Kassel. This was a real treat to get to go into a kitchen, and I would love to cook with them. But today, we're here to meet Annette to discuss something special. It's the season for horseradish. After a demonstration on how to clean up the gnarly root ready for use, the head chef grated some up, where I learnt that you have to incorporate the grated horseradish into either vinegar or perhaps some sour cream immediately, otherwise it loses its taste and aroma, which I was certainly smelling at this point in time.
Should I eat some, maybe? I don't know. Should I eat some?
Yes, of course.
Yes! I'm sweating.
Is he crying? Oh yes, he is.
Annette explained to me that it not only tastes great and has a wonderful healing property, but it also really opens up your airways. Yes, indeed it does. But it made me cry like a little baby. We were now on the search for hidden treasures, and for something most people outside of Europe will not have seen before. Annette, however, knew exactly where it was and could identify it by some of the plants around. It's wild garlic roots. Being the start of winter, the plant is actually dormant, and the roots are waiting to pop up in the spring into little wild garlic plants, little green shoots everywhere. The aroma of them was incredible. Now what they do with these in the kitchen is they clean them up and incorporate them into some sour cream to be used as a dip with some hot crunchy bread. I'll have some of that, thanks. Next stop, horseradish fields forever. To me, this area looked completely different to where we were previously, and in summer it would be colourful and covered in flowers. Luckily I was with Annetta again. She led me to a spot, pushed away some dead leaves, and I saw some tender little green shoots pointing up into the sky. I knew we were here. Now it was time to get this big bad boy out of the ground. And it was a big one. It must have weighed about 3 kilos. I of course had to try some because I had never had horseradish that had been this fresh. It was still cold. But then came the heat I was looking for. Maybe even a little bit too much heat. We couldn't show that reaction. The air was fresh, the catch was big, and the victory was mine.
We've had a great day today. We've tried some amazing delicacies from Deutschland. It's been fantastic. Join me next time on my travels through Germany with big appetites, because we're going to show you some real special things. See you then. I know this song. And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full, I've traveled east